Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm calling this meeting of the CPS Energy Board of Trustees to order at 1 p.m. Ms. Kumar, do we have a quorum?
Yes, present we have Trustee Steen, Trustee Gonzalez, Vice Chair Dr. Mackey, and Chair Romero. One trustee is absent, but we have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, we will have Mr. Brian Alonso deliver our safety message, invocation, and pledge of allegiance.
Good afternoon. Evacuation procedures. I'll review the evacuation procedures so that we are prepared to be safe in the event of an emergency. If you hear the fire alarm, follow the instructions announced through the PA system. If asked to evacuate, use the glass door to exit outside and verbally alert others. We'll move to the main parking lot in front of the building or the AT&T parking lot at the McCullough-Brooklyn bridges. Our security team will be watching and will notify the appropriate emergency services. Lastly, we will also have employees nearby who are trained to administer first aid if needed. Safety is a top priority, and while we hope this information is never needed, we want to ensure that we are prepared. Additionally, we ask that you remain seated during the duration of the meeting, keep the aisles clear, and do not block any exits. Will you please stand with me for an invocation? We thank you for the many blessings you have freely given to each of us. We ask for your presence to guide this meeting of the CPS Energy Board of Trustees. Provide them with the knowledge, compassion, and wise counsel needed as they discuss the business matters on the agenda today. Help us all to remember that we are stewards acting on behalf of our customers and provide us with the grace to serve all people well. We ask this in your name. Amen. Now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Alonso. Ms. Ramirez, we are ready for public comment.
Public comment provides an opportunity for members of the public to share thoughts on posted agenda items for this meeting. We will invite pre-registered speakers to speak. They may only address the board on CPS Energy-related business listed on the posted agenda. Speakers should state their first and last name, the organization or group they represent, and the agenda item they will speak about. For this meeting, we have 6 in-person speakers. Each speaker will be given 2 minutes to speak. At the conclusion of the 2 minutes, the screen will flash red. Please cue the timer. Our first speaker is Arthur Rakowitz, followed by Jerry Urias Peters. Is Mr. Rakowitz present? Okay, then we will move directly to Jerry Urias Peters, followed by Brian Lopez. Okay. Mr. Lopez, are you present? Yes. Followed by Alan Montemayor.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. I'm sorry I called you the wrong name.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Lopez with San Antonio Workers Assembly, and I'm here to speak about the difficult winter months coming up. There are an estimated 40,000 federally employed civilians in San Antonio who have been directly impacted by the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. In addition, a full quarter of our city's population is facing increased food instability due to the adverse impacts of the shutdown and on aid programs such as SNAP. The ripple effects on the broader San Antonio economy are still being felt, and the long-term outlook for regular working people is bleak. There is one thing for certain, and that is that there will be thousands more folks in our city who will be choosing between groceries, medicine, and staying warm this winter. That is why I am here once again imploring the CPS Board of Trustees to pursue meaningful steps to aid the people of San Antonio by permanently ending disconnections and stopping future rate hikes. I will be taking time off in December to spend with my family. I hope everyone in this room has the opportunity to do so. But when I return in January, I will continue championing what is best for the working people of San Antonio and fighting against the investors who are attempting to steal our publicly owned utilities to fuel the construction of boondoggle endeavors such as Project Marvel and AI data centers being built just in time for that industry's bubble to burst. I hope next month you all have the opportunity to rewatch some Christmas time classics, especially one of the many adaptations of A Christmas Carol. There's a character in that tale that reminds me of some of you board members, and it is not Tiny Tim. And Rudy, I hope Santa brings you plenty of coal this year. I know you're going to need it for all the smog factories you've been buying. I'll see y'all next year.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you. We will next have Alan Montemayor, followed by Amanda Griffin.
Good afternoon, and once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you for keeping the lights on. I know that it is a very difficult and diverse task that you face, and I'm not here to make your task harder. I'm really here to lobby for sustainable energy and water policy for the city of San Antonio. I forgot to say I'm Alan Montemayor, chairman of the Alma Group of the Sierra Club. I have a one-page handout that you guys will get after the meeting. It is about the large solar array and battery storage facility at the H2 Oaks facility. I've been championing this cause since August of 2019. I really feel like the time is ripe for you guys to cooperate with SAWS and put this program in place. It's what's right for San Antonio. It's what's right for the citizens of San Antonio most particularly. This is actually would go very well with the Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, which the city is beginning to implement again. Those committees will start meeting, I think, in December or January. I know that SAWS is represented by Angela Rodriguez on the CAP process. I hope to be sitting on one of the subcommittees for that. We'll see. But I really want SAWS and CPS Energy to take control of this CAP process and be a big part of it, and not just in the policies that you implement within CPS Energy, but in the policies for all your customers, all the industrial people that you could positively influence to have such a wonderful effect in San Antonio. We really need to move forward with wind, solar, and battery storage. The H2 Oaks project is just one particularly example of that I hope we can move forward with. But it is by far the cheapest source of energy and the most sustainable. And I think that is really what the citizens of San Antonio need. We don't necessarily need big peaker plants that are going to make lots and lots of money for CPS Energy during times of peak energy demand. We need lower cost energy for the citizens of San Antonio. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Montemayor.
Thank you. Our final speaker will be Amanda Griffin, who will have 4 minutes as Catherine Barszewski is ceding her time to her.
Good afternoon. Good to see you all again. I do want to let you know I'll be signing autographs after this, since I was in the San Antonio Express this Sunday. There was a wonderful article about our group, and I just wanted to remind you guys that I am a part of the Hill Country Preservation Coalition. We are a coalition of individuals and organizations, all that are within the 14 or so county area potentially affected by the Howard Solstice 765 kilovolt line. We are growing in our coalition. I expect from the wonderful article in the San Antonio Express that our membership will grow in the San Antonio area, and we've got coalition meetings set up with the Pecos River landowners, and the Devils River is already a part of our coalition. I wanted to thank the board for the recent meeting with HCPC leadership. We really appreciated the respect with which you met with some of our leadership, and we really felt like you were listening to our concerns that primarily revolve around protecting the pristine river basins of the Texas Hill Country and beyond into West Texas. Our coalition believes that we can achieve both aims of increasing grid reliability in Texas while also preserving our globally recognized treasure that we call home in the Texas Hill Country and our neighbors call home in the West Texas River basins of the Pecos and the Devils. But today I want to spend a couple of minutes that I've got left. I'm not regaling you with the value of the natural habitat and wildlife that live in the hill country or the risk of fragmentation in building these lines through our rugged rural areas. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the expense of running such a project through the harsh topography of our area. I knew and was reminded from the San Antonio Express article about the $400 million investment that San Antonio has put into protecting lands to protect the Edwards Aquifer. And so I feel like it's a reinvestment in yourself to then preserve these lands that are the contribution zone to the recharge zone, to the Edwards Aquifer. Installing these enormous transmission lines with enormous easements will be very expensive through our karst topography. The karst structure, we don't have a lot of topsoil in our area. It's rock, and it's a karst structure, which is very complex. Digging and drilling in one area could affect a neighbor's well and water structure. And we feel like this would be a very expensive path to take through our pristine river areas. So I wanted to thank you for the recent meeting. I wanted to remind you that we're still here and that we're still very, very concerned about our lands that we own and have been in some of our families for generations. We appreciate your time at the meeting, and we hope to continue to build this relationship where we can see CPS as partners in developing the best path forward for this ill-advised ERCOT project. But I appreciate your willingness to always let me come and give comment, and we look forward to proceeding with a pathway that will protect our rivers, our river basins, and our wildlife habitat in the Hill Country and in West Texas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin.
That concludes our public comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, for my chair's remarks, some good news. Starting out with a Grills Giving thank you. So this last weekend was Grills Giving, a celebration of meat and music fired up by Bridgewater Consulting Group, benefiting the Residential Energy Assistance Partnership. This family-friendly event welcomed everyone from across San Antonio to meet up on the south side of town for a great time at Brooks. Net proceeds from Grills Giving benefit REAP. The fundraising goal was exceeded with the event raising $520,000. There were 63 barbecue teams, including 18 teams led by CPS employees. I want to congratulate the corporate responsibility teams, support teams, volunteers, and the barbecue teams for all their work, and to Trustee Gonzalez, who is a great supporter of this event. Did you want to make any comments?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Again, this is a great event. It's been really neat to see it grow from the original $150,000 that we used to raise to exceeding over $500,000. Again, this is a sincere effort by the employees of CPS Energy, and this is why I love it. It has extended to our community partners such as Workforce Solutions and many others. It's a true testament to how effectively both CPS Energy and community-based organizations are sincere about making the community first. Again, this annual fundraiser supports REAP, which is, again, utility support for individuals. And as we noted not too long ago, utility support is all district, not just low-income communities. We've already seen data that supports that districts 1 through 8 are looking for utility assistance. So again, I want to thank every committee member as well as teams that participated. It was a great day. I mean, I can't complain about the ribs. I know some of you may be vegetarian. There was options as well. But overall, it's just a great event that brings the community together. So I'm always really happy to support it. And again, thank you for all the executive leaders who sponsor many teams as well at their own expense. So again, thank you for a great event.
Thank you. We also were able to have our delayed tree trimming and vegetation management event. So the community engagement team recently hosted a special tree trimming and excavator safety event at Employee Park because we want to be great stewards of our local ecosystem in everything we do. So guest presentations informed guests, including CPS Energy's vegetation management team, and included presentations from Mark Bird, the City of San Antonio arborist, and Lee Marlowe of the San Antonio River Authority, both discussing best practices for tree and plant safety and stewardship. And I want to thank the team at Hardberger Park and to Elizabeth, who had earlier written a letter to the editor of the Express News on some important concerns that they all had about how we protect our trees and vegetation and the work that we do. So it was a great educational event. Lots of people there wanted to learn more about how they can be better stewards. And after the presentations, a mock gas line hit was staged in the parking lot along with more safety information. So thanks to everybody who put that together. And also wanted to talk about assistance resources and Energy Angels. I want to remind our community there are many ways they can receive assistance from CPS Energy. We encourage those that need help, or if you know someone that needs help in paying their bill, to call one of our energy advisors at 210-353-2222. If you can support REAP or Energy Angels, please give CPS Energy a call as well. We launched Energy Angels in 2021. This program allows donations to be made to a specific person by providing either an account number, address, or phone number. If you don't have a specific person to donate to, you can still donate to the general fund. The fund prioritizes customers in need who are behind on their energy bills and will apply the credit to CPS Energy customers who do not apply for REAP. So again, give our energy advisors a call. Again, that's 210-353-2222 about how you can become an Energy Angel this holiday season. And finally, our Winter Preparedness Press Conference, where we will update the media, will be held on December 1st, 2025. You guys are fooling me here. It says 2026. It will include updates to the community about our preparedness efforts, but we will be going over that today as well. Rudy, CEO remarks.
We certainly don't want to skip a couple of peak seasons, Dr. Meadows. Sorry about that. I too am very proud of the work that we did over the weekend with Girls Giving. You know, that $520,000 that we raised is record, and that adds to the very healthy balance of $15 million we have in REAP today, which goes a long way to support the customers in our community. So we'll have a separate recognition of those folks in a future board meeting, but I'm very pleased with the outcome of that. So today, I'm honored and humbled to recognize and celebrate more than 350 veterans that work at CPS Energy. Veterans make up almost 10% of our workforce, and we have been consistently recognized as a company in San Antonio that does a lot to help transitioning veterans out of the military into great careers, and we love our veterans here at CPS Energy. Less than 1% of the population chooses to serve their country in this way, but it's no surprise that about 10% of our workforce has served or continues to serve in the armed forces. So this month, we honor you for defending our freedoms. To our veterans serving in a variety of roles across the company, I want to acknowledge the character, discipline, and excellence you bring to CPS Energy every day. To our reservists, and there are many who actively continue to serve while working with us full-time, your continued service is an inspiration to us all. And when you serve in the reserve, know that your jobs are enthusiastically waiting for you when you get back. To all the families of our veterans and service members who must hold down the fort while their loved ones are deployed, your sacrifice for our country also does not go unnoticed. So please join me in congratulating and thanking our veterans today and every day. So how about a round of applause for our veterans? So now I'd like to introduce Ms. Carolyn Hill, Texas Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve. It's the organization's called ESGR, Southern Region Director and San Antonio Area Chair for a special presentation. Thank you for being with us today, Ms. Hill.
Sorry about that. Okay. We are delighted to be here with you today. I have 3 of our volunteers who are with us. Where are they? Robert Seller, Carrie Reyna, and Sherry Blackwell. Come up here. Oh, God, she's retired military Army. She's such shy. Our purpose here today, well, first of all, employer support of the Guard and Reserve, as Rudy said. I'm guessing that there are several of you here in this room, probably most of you who never heard of ESGR and don't know what it is. You do? Good. Oh, okay. We have one. Employer Support Guard and Reserve is an agency of the Department of Defense. We are staffed by volunteers in every state and territory of these United States. Our primary purpose is to be sure that employers and the reserve component members understand and comply and are supported of the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Act. We call it USERRA. It's easier. One of the things that the ESGR has the grand privilege of doing is to recognize supervisors and companies and organizations who support their members who are serving maybe 2 weeks out of the year, maybe a longer deployment, putting on the uniform and not coming to work and doing what some of the folks here would need to be done. You have, over the last several years, several of your immediate supervisors and here at CPS who have been recognized and said thank you with what's called the Patriot Award. So we have labeled a number of your folks as patriots. Well, this has gone on a little longer. And then based on every year, in fact, right now the time is open, reservists or guardsmen can nominate their company for the Freedom Award. And that's the highest award that the United States can bestow. Based on some of those, not everybody can. I mean, we've only got 15 nationwide that are presented. But then there's another level, something called the Pro Patria. And because I don't want to make any mistakes, I will read. The Pro Patria Award is presented annually by each state committee. Texas is a committee, okay? To one small, one large, and one public sector employer. The recipients have demonstrated the greatest support to Guard and Reserve employees through their leadership and practices, including adopting personnel policies that make it easier for employees to participate in the National Guard and Reserve. This is the highest level award that may be bestowed by any state. I am very happy to say that based on a number of things that we had, what does CPS do? Well, we know that when someone is deployed or out, coworkers kind of fill in, take over, do what needs to be done. And they'll text them and say, hey, how you doing? Or they'll check on their families and make sure all is going well. Those little things mean a lot. They mean an awful lot. So they also do have that. We know that their pay policies, CPS is one of those companies, and I'm referring to you as a company, okay, who really makes sure that while that member, that reserve or guard member is gone, that during the first few days that they can maybe just have the pay to compensate. So not their full pay, but enough so that they aren't losing money along the way. That's not true of everybody, every uniformed person. The recognition, you already mentioned some of the things. We know that in November, you have this big Veterans Day ceremony, and you recognize all the veterans as well as the reserve component members. With a holiday, I believe you have actually on Veterans Day, which is not real common. I mean, yes, out there because everybody else does, but you've got work that needs to be done. Your folks keep doing the work, it gets done. And service member recognition, that is how. So why we are here, We are so very, very proud to say that CPS has been named as the 2025 Pro Patriot Award recipient for the state of Texas. Thank you. Go ahead. Where'd you go?
Thank you. Got to gather myself a little bit. We got great employees.
Dr. Mackey wanted to say something.
Go ahead, Dr. Mackey.
Under Chairman's remarks, and not the Chairman's remark, but CEO recognition and awards, this is another great moment for CPS Energy. You know, having our service individuals being recognized, being able to serve this country and still receive some type of payment, I think it's wonderful. Just like our REAP program, our Angels program, Grills Giving program, all the wonderful things that we're doing for our community, plus keeping the rates low. It's truly a blessing for CPS Energy to continue to receive the many awards under Rudy Garza's leadership. I think about things that are being said at each board member, but sometimes we don't give enough recognition to our leader that's leading this company. I know when I was president, I was one of the ones that recommended and voted to support Rudy Garza. Yes, he has an MBA, Business and Finance. Yes, he has a master's in electrical engineering, graduated from the University of Texas. Yes, he was under different leadership before this job. But after 4 years in leading a company, he's the CEO of CPS Energy and leading a great organization. That's what we continue to want to hear Mr. Garza continue to do for CPS Energy. Thank you.
I'm going to move on to the agenda today. I think it's fairly straightforward because we we bypassed our October meeting so that you all could go through your process to select a new candidate for our board opening coming up next year. So today's agenda really is a combination of October and November. Number of procurement items, most of them are very standard equipment, services. Many of them are being driven by the acquisition of the power plants that we've made and trying to right-size our contracts for very specific services to be able to cover additional assets that we've acquired. And then we've got one financial item that really has been driven over the years by Dr. Mackey and his focus on holding our investment managers accountable when they are not performing to our standards. So we do have a change of one of our investment managers for our nuclear decommissioning trust is being made today that I think is good, is very good for the organization to continue to keep an eye on. And Dr. Mackey, I want to thank you for continuing to push that along with Dr. Romero on our Audit and Finance Committee. The regular agenda, we've got a very large procurement that we're going to present on. Again, this is the ERCOT ordered line that will immediately provide relief to a constraint on our transmission system south of San Antonio. That particular Spruce to Pawnee to Tango line, the additional funding is primarily driven by additional structures, some increased right-of-way access, and a very complex lake crossing we have to make that is adding cost to that project. But again, that is a transmission cost recovery that the entire state picks up along with our portion of that. But it is a priority project for the entire state, and we'll have that conversation. And then we took a little different approach to our winter preparedness. We'll have a video to walk through our winter preparedness, and then any questions you have, the team is here to answer. So with that, Dr. Romero, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Today, we are going to go into executive session first, so Ms. Kumar, can you please take us into executive session?
Yes. At this time, the board is going to recess into executive session to discuss matters that have been duly posted under several provisions of Chapter 555 of the Texas Government Code, including deliberations and other authorization on real property under Section 551.072, and to deliberate, vote, or take final action on competitive matters under Section 551.086. At the conclusion of the executive session, the board will reconvene in open session and continue this meeting. It is 1:32 p.m.
All right, Ms. Kumar, will you bring us back into open session, please?
Yes. It is 2:13, and the board has concluded executive session. I can confirm that there were no votes taken and no matters were discussed that were not part of the posted agenda. We do have a quorum, all members but Mayor Jones are present.
All right, we are now on the consent agenda. Items 7G6 and 7G7 are pulled from the consent agenda and will not be heard today.
Okay.
Beyond that, does anyone have any items to pull from the consent agenda?
Yes, C and D, just to, I'm not talking about just pull it, I just want to hear.
Okay. Trustee Gonzalez, tell me again what one you just said.
Before, again, we proceed with consent agenda vote, I would like to request items 7C and E to be removed for separate consideration. I just really wanted to discuss it. 7C and 7E.
Ms. Kumar, can you advise on 7E and what we are able to discuss in open session?
Do you withdraw that?
I'm good with that. I withdraw 7E, it's 7C.
You withdraw both? You just want to pull C, 7C from the,
Discuss 7C.
understood.
Thank you. My apologies for that.
We're going to pull 7C and D.
I just
So-
want Mr. Garza to explain that to me.
Okay. All right, well, let's start with what we have now on the consent agenda is 7A, B, E, F, and G, 1 through 5. Correct?
That's
All right. Do we have a motion on?
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Steen?
No.
Trustee, Vice Chair, Dr. Mackey?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair Romero?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. We will then go to item 7C, and we would like to have that presented as, and then we will go to item 7D, but we'll have a vote for each one first.
Ms. Julie?
Yes, so we submitted I don't know if there's specific questions, but we also submitted a presentation if they want to bring that up.
If that's okay, Madam Chair, may I ask the questions?
But just for our customers who might be watching, just as a general reminder, items are on the consent agenda only after they have gone through all committees so that we have seen them already. And just letting people know that I already pulled item 9 already off of consent agenda. So we can pull items from consent agenda when we do want to have extra discussion. So yes, please, if you want to go ahead with your questions.
Yes, and again, I want to thank, because I have asked several questions throughout the several committees, but again, just here are my questions. Can staff briefly summarize the specific performance issues that led to the recommendation to replace Mr. William Blair? We'll start with that question.
So that one's 7C, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So we monitor performance from our investment managers on a frequent basis, and they had been identified and put on a watch list, and it has to do with performance when they're lagging their benchmarks. And so we continued through an investment cycle to monitor them, and when we didn't see improvement, we moved to replace them.
Thank you. Here's my second question. Are there any transaction costs or short-term risks associated with moving assets to MFS? And for the audience, they may not know what MFS stands for.
MFS, that is our recommended replacement, investment manager replacement. And so we will go through a liquidation of assets as we move them from one investment manager to the other. At this point, we do not anticipate losses. But we will continue to monitor that. I think we are targeting February 1st as our transition date.
And here's my other questions. I have 3 and then 4. But third is, how does MFS strengthen the diversification long-term strategy of the international equity allocation?
Yeah, so I think that was one of the factors as to why we selected MFS. So they're definitely a better fit for our trust. They have a stronger performance, which is one of the qualifications that we look for. It better complements our strategies. I think we mentioned they are going to complement the other active managers that we have in the international equity asset class. And then I think also for them, it's their long-term growth strategy.
Okay, and this is my last question. For the managers being renewed, were any approaching performance thresholds, and what safeguards are in place going forward?
No, I think William Blair was the only one identified. Everybody else is performing according to benchmark.
Again, I want to thank the chair for the oversight, the individuals who oversee this committee, as well as Ashley. She and I were back and forth, so I'm very satisfied with the responses. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any other questions on 7C?
She answered it.
Do we have a motion, please,
Yes. Motion.
for approval?
Yes. Approval.
I will second that motion. Any more discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Steen?
Yes.
Vice Chair Dr. Mackey? Chair Romero?
Yes.
And Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. And then if you could please address item 7D.
So 7D is our annual renewal of our financial policies. 2 of these are just renewals based on PFIA requirements, Texas code, and the others we bring to you every year for best practices.
Are there specific questions on item 7D?
No, I'm fine.
All right, can we have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Steen?
Yes.
Vice Chair Dr. Mackey?
Yes.
Chair Dr. Romero?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, that concludes the consent agenda. Moving to our regular agenda, item 8 includes numerous board committee reports, including the Community Input Committee reports. This item is just for discussion. These reports are in your packet. Are there any questions, items for discussion here?
I would like to just say, again, we've had a good amount of meetings, and I want to say, after reviewing, again, the materials in detail, I want to emphasize the importance, again, of closely tracking risk exposure, particularly in the areas where we're making significant investments and where past disruptions have been the most acute. As our system becomes more complex, the number of high-impact projects grow. Maintaining visibility into these risk areas is essential for operational resilience and fiduciary accountability. So I sincerely appreciate the staff time for answering an array of questions and the committee chairs for outlining these issues clearly in the reports.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we will move on to item 9, the procurement request for approval, additional funding Spruce to Pawnee to Tango Live Line. Mr. Medina, please.
Hi, good afternoon. So this next procurement item is a request for approval to add additional funds to our Spruce to Pawnee to Tango line. Just to kind of, go to the next slide. To kind of recap and give some background on this, this is ERCOT's accelerated project. So initially, ERCOT had asked us to rebuild the Spruce to Pawnee line to Tango line, and they gave us up until 2029 to build it. Since some of the past summer seasons were extremely hot, the weather patterns and the power flows were changing, and ERCOT deemed that line as a critical line. After that, that's when ERCOT said, okay, we need you to accelerate this line. They moved the timeline up and asked if we can rebuild that line energized, which is the first time that we're doing a 345 kV line rebuild, energized, and we're building new towers, and it's currently a single circuit, and we're increasing the amps from 3,000 amps to two 4,000 amp circuits. This line is necessary and will, the two projects that ERCOT kicked off because of this contingency is the RMR Bronick 3 and all the mobile generators that are here. And so our teams have went through and we expedited the engineering for that. We bid it out at 80% because we need a contractor to come in and figure out how you're gonna build this energized. And so we got the contractor on board. We working with the contractor, we finalized drawings, we got soil samples, all the structures had to be bigger, the piers have to be bigger, right away for all the equipment, roads for the equipment. So those are all adders to this contract to build this line. And so this line is scheduled to be constructed. All the towers have to be in place by summer, and they're gonna have the first circuit in by September 1st, and then the second circuit energized by December of next year. So this is a fast-moving project. The current contract was valued at $150 million is what we anticipated in the beginning without having the contractor on board. And then now that we have the additional scope for the project to complete it, we're seeking approval of $100 million. And the company is Quanta Infrastructure.
And that was based on final design.
Final designs, yes.
Yeah, from the 80% where we started.
That's correct. Great. And it's all for additional scope of work.
All right, I will open it up for any questions.
I do have a question. Richard, does the projected schedule remain aligned with ERCOT's reliability models? And do we have any permitting or right-of-way risks that have been identified that could impact the timing?
At this moment, we're on track, on schedule to meet those two timelines for ERCOT.
Thank you. That was my only question.
So this does not have to go through PUC because it follows the existing line. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, we'll still file a CCN just because we're adding a second circuit. Yes.
I'm sorry, I meant route approval. Doesn't have to go through them.
No, it's already ERCOT approved, endorsed project. Yes.
I do have some. So thank you for your presentation. And of course, we've got, if you would put up slide 2.
This one? Yes.
And what we're dealing with here is the rebuilding of an existing 58-mile-long transmission line that runs from CPS Energy's Spruce Power Plant to the Pawnee Station and then on to the Tango Station, both in South Texas. And we know that Spruce 1 and 2 combined have 1,345 megawatts of generating capacity. However, it's CPS Energy's current game plan, which, by the way, I disagree with, to shut down completely Spruce 1 by the end of 2028, and that's 20 to 34 years before the end of its technical life. Shuttering Unit 1 will reduce Spruce's overall generating capacity by 560 megawatts down to 785 megawatts. When we discussed and voted on this same item at our March 31st, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting, Mr. Garza assured me that the planned Spruce 1 shutdown will have no impact whatsoever on the need to rebuild the transmission line. So my question on that has been asked and answered. Let's focus for a moment on the third bullet point of the same slide, and you've bolded and underlined the words "remains energized." And when you've described this in the past, you've used the phrase live line, bare hand, which means the current line will be bolstered by a second circuit while the current line remains at full energization. And at our board meeting last March, Mr. Perez and Mr. Garza described how this work is performed, and I think it's accurate to describe it as hazardous. And since I believe every decision at CPS Energy should be made with safety at the forefront, I was relieved to learn that this dangerous work will be performed by contractor employees who have specialized safety training in and much experience with this perilous work. So none, and I emphasize none of this work will be done by our CPS Energy employees, and that's accurate, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct, sir.
All
Yes.
right.
They have specialized equipment to hold the lines while they remove towers and put the new tower in, and then they reconnect everything. Yes.
But this is all the contractor doing.
On the
this.
contractor, yes, sir.
Now, at the lower right-hand corner of this slide, we see a brown box that contains the words TCOS, TCOS reimbursement. and that stands for Transmission Cost of Service. And this was addressed 8 months ago at our Board of Trustees meeting, and Mr. Garza and Mr. Pettis assured us that all cost of this project will be reimbursed. They confirmed that the cost is eventually shared by all ratepayers across ERCOT, and Mr. Garza said that when the dust settles, CPS Energy's customers will end up paying 7%-ish of the cost of this project. However, though this cost is reimbursable, there's still an obligation to spend responsibly. In fact, any expenses not deemed reasonable and necessary can be rejected by ERCOT. Now, let's recall that, as I previously alluded to, a mere 8 months ago at our March 31st, 2025 meeting, the board approved on a 4-to-1 vote a $150 million contract for this very same project. Recommended by staff, the contract with Quanta Infrastructure Solution Group was approved with a term of 3 years, so an expiration of perhaps mid-2028. I voted against this award because the recommended contractor received a score of 63 out of 100 from our evaluation team, and I was concerned about the low score. Now, that brings us to today, where this very same procurement matter is again before us, but now management is asking us to approve an additional $100 million on top of the $150 million that was approved just 8 months ago. This represents a cost increase of 67%. And in bullet point 4 on slide 2, some general reasons for this 67% increase are provided. That is expanded scope and final design, larger and more structures, increased right-of-way and access needs, and a complex lake crossing. But my question is, what about the other 2 respondents who sought the contract earlier this year? And yesterday I reviewed the supplemental materials you provided for the March 31st meeting and discovered that you did indeed disclose the names of the other 2 respondents to the RFP. It's no secret, is it, who the other 2 respondents were?
We just normally don't provide that.
What was in the materials?
I think it was in your materials.
Yeah. Do you not want me to say their name? We're so secretive about everything.
You've already made this decision, Trustee Steen. I mean, just make your point.
All right, it's in small print, but there is, there it is. It says 2 additional respondents were not recommended for the award. And can I say the names? Are you all going to jump on me about that?
Has been our policy that we do not name the
Okay.
other one.
Okay, so I'll say X and Y. It's in our materials. I proceeded to Google these companies and learned that they're both substantial companies that have heavy-duty expertise in regard to 345 kilovolt transmission lines. For example, I learned that one is one of the largest providers of energy solutions in the United States. It's a 75-year-old company with 10,000 employees. So I'm almost through. Please put up slide 3. And there are 2 bullet points I question regarding the accuracy, and you may have kind of answered one of them with your presentation. First, the 3rd bullet point, it sets forth the estimated expiration of the current $150 million contract with Quanta.
Right.
It sets forth as December 2026, about a year from now. I've got a copy of the equivalent page for the presentation we were given 8 months ago, and it clearly says the term of the new contract that was approved by this board is 3 years, or until 2028. And so that was Mr. Medina, that was a question I had. How does a 3-year contract morph into a 1.5-year contract?
He answered that question right up front. ERCOT has asked us to expedite this for reliability purposes, and what you left out of your research project is that this is an energized project. There are plenty of transmission service providers that can build 345. This is being done while the line is energized, which is a much more specific skill set.
Are you saying that the two other respondents couldn't do
Sir,
energized
you did the
work?
research, not me.
I did the research, and I think they do that.
They don't have live line. They didn't provide any information that they can do this work live.
You're nodding. Are you saying you agree with him, or you?
What?
Okay.
What?
Let me
No, he was telling me about the dates.
Okay.
The dates on the 26th, December 26th is the final end of the project to be constructed.
All right, then the last bullet point on slide 3, where, as I interpret, you're representing that the contract we're being asked to approve today was awarded through a competitive RFP. But how is it competitive to the other 2 respondents who sought the contract 8 months ago, Perhaps they bid a higher amount than Quanta. Quanta got the award, and then 8 months later, Quanta comes back seeking $100 million more. And my question would be, is that fair to all concerned? Is that really the way to get best value for CPS Energy? And let me finish. To close out, for the reasons I've given, I'm going to cast a no vote on this procurement item. And I want to respectfully ask our council to include in the minutes my full comments. And finally, I request that an independent party, perhaps our internal auditor, look into this matter to assure us that everything has been handled appropriately. Looking again at the last bullet point on slide 3, I ask our internal auditor to address specifically whether this contract has been awarded through a truly competitive RFP in accordance with board procurement policy and procedures. And I'd like to make this an action item, and that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, let's work through the questions.
Okay.
And Lisa is behind you as well.
So this was bid out through a competitive process, and then we evaluated the bidders based on their qualifications and experience. And the other two didn't provide any experience doing live line work. And then we go through and look at cost structures. So regardless of where we're at, if we had 100% design, we would be in the same place today. But we didn't have time to do 100% design because we need a contractor on board to start working on figuring out how you're going to build this line, energize an existing right-of-way, putting new towers, doing all this lake crossings and stuff like that. It's just additional scope that we would have flushed out through a normal contract. And then I'll also add, earlier you mentioned about Spruce power plants. This has nothing to do with Spruce. This was deemed a critical line because we're closing Bronick.
Right. I said that was a question I had that was asked and answered, so.
Okay.
I just want to ask a couple of questions that I think will clarify this. When you put out the first bid or request for bids, did you show that it was did you know that it would be energized?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we gave the timelines for the accelerated
And
timeline.
that was in there?
Yes.
But one of the companies that responded had experience in it, and the other two did not,
That's correct.
and that's why you chose them.
Yes.
Now, I think when you say here, contract awarded through a competitive RFP, you're not saying it was a competitive RFP for the second round.
No, for the first round. We
okay,
were
I
just
think-
adding
yeah.
additional funds to cover the additional scope.
Okay, I think that was where maybe a little bit of the confusion was. And also, I think Mr. Garza already explained it, but the change in the estimated expiration date has to do with ERCOT moving up.
Yes, they want it
Faster,
done
the
faster.
deadline.
They want it done by the end of next year.
Okay. So Ms. Lewis, did you want to add anything?
No, ma'am. Process followed appropriately.
I do. This is design built?
No, we designed it with the third party and our internal folks. They're building, they're constructing it.
The third party, and that's the
It's
company
Quanta.
that we're awarding to?
Yes. Yeah.
They design,
We design
we design it with their help.
with their input because of the heavy equipment and the right-of-way that was needed to secure this, because they have different type of equipment for live line work.
From 150 to, from 150 to 250.
Correct. And a majority of it came from additional towers. The foundations went from 8-foot to 12-foot foundation piers. So it's just all the additional concrete rebar,
Yeah, I
additional
understand that.
towers, barges to get across the lake, roads. It was
I
just-
understand that, exactly what you're talking about, but I'm trying to get a good understanding of the other individuals were not allowed to bid on it, even though it was,
Yeah.
I would say, hot to continue to work on it. Through the second half, the other individuals were not allowed to bid on it.
All we're doing is adding additional funds for the additional
With the ones, with the
scope.
company that helped
The
us.
original individuals, we didn't go back and look because they don't have the qualifications to do, they didn't
The
provide
other two, they don't have the qualifications to do it.
do this live line work, no.
Okay, they don't have the qualifications.
They don't have, right.
Okay. All right,
I'm sorry, Dr. Mackey.
okay.
Or they didn't provide any information that they could do, or any we asked for, Eric, show us your experience on projects like this, doing live line work.
We have it documented, that we asked
Yes.
that question,
Yes, we asked that question.
and they did not answer that.
They didn't provide any
They did
information.
not provide any evidence that they could do it.
That's correct.
Oh, okay, okay, I just wanted to make sure. And the other question too, not question, Madam Chair, Mr. Steen asked that outside audit.
And I'm going to get to that.
To
in
look
a
at
minute.
that?
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable to make sure that it don't come up on us later on, that something was done wrong. If they look at it, I'm fine with it, and they say it's okay, I'm fine.
And I appreciate that, Dr. Mackey. That's my same view of it. Let's see what somebody independent says about it. But AI is flawed, and sometimes if you've used it, it comes up with wrong answers. I'm looking at this is where I'll just say blank, but I asked, does this particular company, which was one of the respondents, do energized work? And it says yes, blank does work on energized lines, and it's a key part of their services.
Yeah, I mean, we do energized work too, but we don't do this type of energized work where we're pulling towers out and replacing live circuits for the whole project. Like, we go up there and we change out insulators and all kinds of things doing live line work, yes. But this is different because you're constructing a 50
I'm just reading this, and it says they have experience and specific expertise in working on energized lines using specialized tools and techniques. And
Yeah, so do our crews. But we will not do this type of work like this because we don't have the equipment to do it.
well, I can see why. I hope you all can see why, as a trustee, I'd raise this issue that we go out for a supposedly competitive bid, and then we choose somebody, and then 8 months later, the party that we chose comes back and say, by the way, I want to increase my cost 67%.
They didn't come back. We've been working with them to finalize the drawings. We were at 80%, and we were continuing to get to 100% engineered drawings. So our engineering firms were sitting there looking at the soil samples as we got them in, going, all the foundations changed, and then we need more towers, and it was additional scope of work.
Yeah, Madam Chair, it's exactly what I was going to say. It's very typical, and again, having direct experience myself working with the Department of Defense where we do highly classified data centers, there are several phases. You do a designing engineer first, and then once you actually win the award, you get in and you review your designs, and then the scope can increase because things do change. And so I'm very confident that this was again presented with detailed, and it was again, we were able to ask our questions during committees, and we went through a competitive process. We're, again, this organization didn't come to us and say, I'm going to just change the scope. This is driven by, again, our strategic partner, ERCOT. I don't think they would be going to us just to come to us. This is a well-respected state of Texas organization, and so I, again, trust the process that we've gone through.
I just want to, I would like to talk to legal counsel about the action item, because I want to be clear about what we're doing and that we're not going down the wrong path here. I don't see any questions that are concerning me. I agree with what you just said. I'm not seeing the questions, and I don't want to jump too fast to, and I don't even know if we're talking about an outside auditor, our own independent auditor. I want to think about what is the appropriate way to follow through on this, but I get that it's been posed as an action item. I don't want to cast aspersions on the process or on this company unnecessarily, and I'm a little concerned about doing that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
And are you ready to make a motion? Okay, Vice Chair has made a motion to approve.
Second, to approve.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Steen?
No.
Vice Chair Dr. Mackey? Chair Dr. Romero?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Okay, finally, item 10 is our winter preparedness, which we're doing a little bit different this year. Does anybody need to introduce this, or are we going right to the video?
Madam Chair, I will introduce it this year. We will be covering the exact same information we always cover. We're doing it in a video format with our very own resident media man, Brian Alonso, our weatherman, will be making the presentation. And then any specific questions you have about any elements of our winter preparedness, we will just ask your question and we'll have the right person come up and address it. But I appreciate my team taking to heart me asking them to come up with something different. This is different, and I'll tell you, I really like it. So thank you.
All right, roll 'em.
Hello, everybody. I'm CPS Energy's Chief Meteorologist, Brian Alonso. We want to talk to our community about the things we've been working on here at CPS Energy to make sure that we are ready for the approaching winter season. Now, first things first, let's start off with the forecasting the weather and take a look at what's going to be happening as we go through the next couple of months during our winter season. Officially, we're in a La Nina here. So what that means is we've got some cooler waters in the equatorial Pacific, and that affects how the jet stream kind of plays things out. So the jet stream stays more up to the north. That's where our storm systems would normally track. So we stay a little bit further than that. And of course, when that happens, we start to see our temperatures a little bit above average here. And when it comes to precipitation, we look at below average precipitation because, again, the storm systems stay well up to our north. However, there have been some forecasts that I've been looking at that indicate that as we head into the January-February timeframe, we could see a couple of Arctic outbreaks. So it's a little uncertain exactly when we would see those. And of course, it's way too early to see if there's going to be any wintry precipitation with that. But this is something I'm going to keep an eye on as we go through this upcoming winter season. Another threat we're also going to have to watch out for is if it's going to continue to be below average precipitation, the wildfire threat is going to be going up, especially here in South Texas. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on that. We want to inform our community that we will be completing the necessary maintenance and planning to support reliable service this winter. This work is done by prioritizing safety, operational performance, reliability, and communications with our customers and partners. As a reminder, all necessary compliance documentation will be submitted to the Texas Railroad Commission and the Electric Reliability Council of Texas by the 1st of December. These documents will detail our compliance with seasonal preparedness inspections and maintenance of critical infrastructure serving power generation and gas distribution. Natural gas suppliers will be contacted to confirm weatherization activities are completed prior to December 1st as well. Let's start with energy supply and our winter generation resource adequacy. Our winter record peak demand of 5,346 megawatts occurred on January 16, 2024, and we will have over 11,000 megawatts available to support our customers. Our units will be prepared for winter operations, and no unit outages are scheduled between January and February. Now let's look at what our plants are doing to prepare for winter. Our teams perform a variety of weatherization equipment inspections and improvements. This includes the use of freeze protection solutions, installation of temperature sensors, and the construction of temporary enclosures. So how's Energy Delivery Services preparing? Let's find out. Every decision at CPS Energy is made with safety at the forefront and is integrated into the goals of every employee and contractor, which is why safety serves as the bedrock of our winter preparedness efforts. EDS is focusing on educational awareness for signs of cold stress when working in lower temps, backfeed hazard awareness, use of fire-rated clothing, and they're preparing for hazardous driving conditions. Maintaining equipment year-round is incredibly important. We are working to identify and correct pain points, conduct inventory checks, and we are administering inspections and testing on all necessary equipment. In addition, a total of 88 smart switches have been installed to assist with managing and optimizing the use of electricity across our networks. These smart switches, referred to as reclosures, quickly isolate and restore power during temporary faults caused by extreme weather. We shouldn't forget why these preparations are so important before colder temperatures find their way to San Antonio. The greater San Antonio community is our priority. We have made significant strides to modernize business systems, adopt cleaner energy sources, improve grid reliability, and increase customer engagement. Most recently, we announced the beginning of operations of Padua 1, a 50-megawatt, 2-hour duration battery energy storage system in Bexar County. This project advances the utility's Vision 2027 strategy, which emphasizes delivering reliable, resilient, and cleaner energy solution to meet the needs of San Antonio's growing population. So what else can our customers do to prepare for the winter season? Well, here's some tips. First things first, register through Manage My Account to receive energy alerts from CPS Energy. Find out more by visiting cpsenergy.com/alerts. Be sure to add or update emergency contact information through CPS Energy's Manage My Account portal or by calling customer service at 210-353-2222. For more tips and helpful resources, visit cpsenergy.com/winter. Keep a lookout for Cam the Chameleon this winter as well. Cam changes color to reflect the conservation level of the day. This is made up of 4 levels: green, yellow, orange, and red. These levels are designed to provide specific winter conservation tips depending on the color of the day and are directly associated with the anticipated demand for energy. CPS Energy believes in year-round reliability. Winter weather can change quickly, which is why it's important that we are ready well ahead of time. Preparation can help us stay safe and mindful of our energy use, which can prevent high energy bills this winter season. To CPS Energy, resilience means more than keeping the lights on and the gas flowing. It's about growing, improving, and moving forward together.
Thank you, Brian. Mr. Etheridge, let's do this now. If you could present the plant managers that are here today and recognize them, and then we can have questions.
Yes, ma'am. Let me start with Gary Hans. He leads our Rio Nogales and our newly acquired Southeast Texas assets. Paulo Sorlozano leads Calaveras and our Summers units. Ryan McDonald has Bronig, AVR, and the Lee units. And Shane has slid into a role leading our shared services organization. So together, they're pushing the fleet forward, and they led a lot of the work you just got to see.
And of course, our VP, Rick Rudia, who is with his son on a soccer recruiting trip to the University of Oregon today. So,
right. And Rich Olson is out. He's on leave also. He heads the Corpus assets.
Thank you all for being here today. We appreciate it. Vice Chair?
Yes, who's over the Spruce unit?
Paulo.
Okay. That was one of the ones we had the most problems. Do you feel confident about going into the winter?
Come on up here.
Yeah, so for the Spruce plant, we feel confident going into the winter season. Spruce 1 is actually in an overhaul right now, so we're doing a lot of preventive maintenance and checks on all the critical plant systems. Spruce 2 has an overhaul planned after the winter season, but we have had outages this year to do more proactive checks and inspections on problem areas to, just make sure that we're bolstering the site for a good, productive winter operation.
Okay, next, one more question to all the plant managers. Is it anything that the CPS Energy Board can do to help you all better prepare for this winter program? Okay, that's all I want to hear.
Thank you. Benny, I guess I have a question for you, though. You're getting kind of squeezed with this summer preparedness, winter preparedness now, right? Because you can't do the summer preparedness as late as you normally would have, because summer comes too soon now, right?
Well, we tend to start a little early, but the outage seasons are a little crunched up right now. We're doing the best we can with what we got and some challenging contractor availability. But we're working closely with ERCOT. We've got some ideas to reduce some of the timing required in outage. So we're working that with the team. Rick's been spearheading that effort for us.
can you give them a little quick update on Bronig 3 RMR and when we expect that unit back at ERCOT's call?
So Bronig 3 RMR has been a lot of challenges, as you would expect from an older unit. Probably the largest job they had was a header replacement, and Ryan and his team have managed that exceptionally well, and by the middle of December, we anticipate to turn it over to ERCOT. Our commercial team under Mike Hale has completed preparations, and we're ready to test and dispatch as needed.
One more question. Mr. Garza, we purchased these other units, one down, 2 in Corpus, one down in Laredo, and the 4 over there in Houston. Do we have any representatives that are preparing for the winter?
So Gary represents the Houston assets, and as Benny said, Rich, who handles Corpus and Laredo, is out today.
Okay.
But he can answer any questions.
No, I don't have
on
any
that
questions.
one.
I just want to know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Gary's doing double duty right now while we're working to bring an additional team member on board.
You can feel free to sit down. We don't want to make you stand too long.
Oh, make them stay.
I don't want to ask you this question, Benny, just my own thought. With the chameleon, which I know some of us have a love-hate relationship with, I'm glad he's wearing a scarf because it makes it seem more wintry, but for me, the red, when he's red, I think, oh, it's warm, because in the summer when he's red when it's hot. And so I'm having to like make this switch over to say, when he's red now, it's going to be because it's cold or we're having an event. So I don't know if the whole world has to deal with that same issue I'm having, but the muffler helps.
So we
Something to work
have,
on.
we have an alert program in the PG organization, condition green, when everything is good, yellow, when we've got some units out, we're having some issues, the grid's in an upset condition, and red, when we go into screwdriver alert, or there's a real shortfall expected in generation because of whatever the case. So, yeah, we're using those colors also.
But your point is well made. Maybe it should be blue in the winter and red in the summer. Got it.
Yeah, maybe if he turned blue, yeah.
You probably could.
Or, I don't know.
I don't think they handle cold weather well.
Maybe we should have like a second one for winter, a different animal.
Oxitani, Phil?
Do we have any other questions on the winter preparedness?
And we're
Gonzalez.
in contact with SAWS and every other key
Yes, ma'am.
organization. Wonder again, can you kind of just remind exactly the protocol and how we collaborate with the other organizations?
So we have SAWS and we have our major gas suppliers. And in both cases, we check with them on issues, alert them to the actions we're taking, and find out if they've got any issues that could affect us. And if so, then we work with them to prepare a strategy to deal with that.
Yeah, and I would say, in anticipation of any winter, true hard winter, weather, you'll see me and the city manager and the county judge and, the folks across the community who all serve a purpose to help make sure our community is aware of what the conditions are and how we're going to help them get through it. We will all stand there together, communicating to the community as needed. Trustee Gonzalez, so yes, we are well connected and prepared to, come together when those times come.
Any other questions? No. All right, this item was just for discussion. Ms. Kumar, can you review any action items that we had?
I noted two, ma'am. One was Trustee Steen's request about the auditor review of the Quanta procurement, but as you noted, we will review that offline and discuss with you. And I don't know if you meant it as a action item, but I did take your chameleon feedback as one. So that's all I have.
Okay, go ahead.
A couple of things before I adjourn, just for the note, because time is going by fast. I will be out of the country the 28th through the 6th, in case there's any meetings. And then just want to wish all my colleagues and all the staff happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. And yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We don't have to rush right into the Christmas season. We have a motion to adjourn. I will second. All in favor? Say aye. Motion is passed. We are adjourned. Thank you all.